Not every storm is worth sailing into. Some are meant to watch from shore.
I used to think, if someone attacked me, I had to strike back. If someone disrespected me, I had to demand their respect. If someone lied about me, I had to set the record straight. That belief didn't make me strong, it made me reactive. And reactivity is not strength. It's slavery with a crown on. One night, after I'd lost everything, the business, the money, the people I thought were mine, I found myself sitting alone in Kai's old workshop. The smell of pine and ash still lingered in the wood. The table in front of me was rough, scarred, like a battlefield that never healed. Outside, the wind scratched the window, like it was trying to get in. But the real storm was inside me. My phone lit up. One name, Rico, the man I once called a brother, before he emptied my accounts, and vanished. I stared at the screen. My thumb hovered over the message. Without me, you'd still be nothing. It didn't just sting. It dared me. Like someone sliding a plate of rotten food in front of a starving man and smiling. My chest tightened. The heat rose up my neck. My fingers curled like they'd already started typing a reply. But then, from across the table, the old wooden chair creaked, and Kai's voice, low and grounded, came back to me. If someone hands you a bag of poison, why drink it? I didn't answer. My breath slowed, my hands loosened, and for the first time in years, I didn't take the bait. The real poison isn't what they said. It's how long you let it live inside you. You're not tired because of them. You're tired from carrying what they left behind. Some people don't ruin you. You ruin yourself trying to prove them wrong. So ask yourself, is this response healing you, or just feeding them? It wasn't about Rico anymore. It wasn't even about the message. It was about me, and the pattern I kept calling justice, when really it was just an addiction to reaction. I used to think attention was power, but attention is energy. And energy is food. That night, I saw it clearly. Toxic people don't need your love. They don't need your closure. They don't even need your hatred. They just need you to keep feeding them. With your thoughts, with your overthinking, with your side of the story over and over again. They don't care if what you give is sweet or bitter. They'll chew on your silence. They'll sip your sarcasm. They'll feast on your rage. And the more you serve, the more they stay full. You want to hurt them? Stop feeding them. Stop narrating your pain to people who enjoy the sound. Stop rehearsing your worth in rooms that never asked for it. Stop bringing them to mind like they still belong there. Because every time you do, you build a shrine to your own suffering. I didn't block Rico. I didn't reply. I didn't even delete the message. I just stood up, poured the cold tea down the sink. My hands weren't clenched. My jaw had softened. And that alone felt like a small resurrection. And for the first time, I fed myself something better. Silence. After that night, I didn't just walk away from Rico. I walked back to myself. But you can leave a toxic person and still carry the habits they planted in you. Still crave the chaos. Still fight invisible wars in your head. Still think silence is surrender. To truly come home, I had to change the way I lived. Not louder, not tougher, just clearer. I made 3 shifts, and they turned everything around. The first was clarity. I opened my journal and wrote, "What will I no longer tolerate, under any condition? Not in thought, not in emotion, in ink. Because boundaries aren't real until they stare back at you in black and white." I wrote, "I will not explain my peace to people addicted to war. I will not shrink so others feel taller. I will not chase respect from those who lost mine. Once it was on paper, it stopped being negotiable. Now, when someone pushes, they're not crossing a line, they're walking out of my life. The second was detachment. I used to think love meant giving full access, answering every message, explaining every shift in energy, fixing every wound, even if it wasn't mine. But now I know. You can love someone deeply and still guard your inner world like a temple. Detachment isn't cold. It's clarity. It's presence without invasion. It's care without collapse. I still feel. I still show up. But I don't bleed for people who hand me knives. Peace is sacred, and the gate stays locked unless love comes with respect. The third was silence. The day I stopped replying was the day I took my power back. Not in anger, not in fear, but in understanding. Some people don't lose power when you fight them. They lose power when you stop feeding the fire. I stopped narrating my pain. I stopped arguing with ghosts. I stopped handing over my energy to people who never deserved a sip of it. My silence wasn't a punishment, it was a return. To stillness, to sovereignty, to self-respect. Because some people don't miss you. They miss the noise you used to make. And once you go quiet, truly quiet, they fade. Not because you erased them, but because you stopped playing the role they needed you to be. Toxic people don't panic when you shout. They panic when you go quiet. They don't fear losing you. They fear losing the version of you who kept the cycle alive, the one who always explained, the one who always replied, the one who stayed reachable, even when it broke you open. They called you kind when you had no boundaries. They called you loyal when you had no voice. They called you loving because you stayed when you should have left. And maybe you believed them. Maybe you thought collapsing was connection, that breaking down was proof of how much you cared, that love meant bleeding a little every day. But silence changes everything, because silence isn't just absence, it's power, it's a decision. It's the door you close when your soul is tired of waiting to be seen. When you stop reacting, you break the agreement, the unspoken contract that said, as long as you press, I'll bend. They will test your silence, guilt, blame, half apologies with sharp hooks hidden inside. You've changed. You forgot who helped you. You think you're better now. And once, those words would have broken you, made you soften, made you stay. But not anymore, because now you've felt something deeper, a peace that doesn't perform, a love that doesn't leak, a voice that no longer needs to prove it's right. You didn't burn the bridge. You just stopped crossing one that always led to pain. Let them talk. Let them spin the story. Let them shout to an empty room you're not there anymore. You've moved. And where you live now, guilt has no key. Chaos gets tired at the gate, and peace pays the rent in full. I used to think silence was the end. That when the talking stopped, the story died. That if I didn't reply, I'd lose. But silence isn't the end. It's the beginning. Because toxic people don't fear your anger. They fear your indifference. They don't panic when you scream. They panic when you go still. When the performance has no audience. They have anything about performs looking for appeal. When the hook can't find a wound. They're both of them's in the party. They're on the thermed of Neely. They don't miss you. They miss access. They miss the version of you who bled on cue, who explained yourself into exhaustion, who danced to the rhythm of their dysfunction. And maybe you've been there too, replying to people who don't hear, explaining to those who already decided, burning through your own peace just to prove you're still good. But the real storm isn't during the fight. It comes after, when you no longer need the fight to define you. I remember the first time I didn't take the bait, didn't justify, didn't explain. didn't send the midnight essay defending my name. Just silence, clean, calm, whole. And in that stillness, I heard someone I hadn't met before, the me beneath the reactivity, the me who didn't need to win, the me who was already free. That version whispered, "You're not cold, you're clear, you're not detached, you're divine, you're not silent because you're weak, you're silent because your peace is finally sacred. And now? I don't fear silence, I return to it. Like a temple, like a friend, like a home I had forgotten was mine. Not every silence is a goodbye. Some silences are a return. You've been feeding too many mouths and wondering why your soul feels starved. At this stage of your life, who truly deserves a seat at your table, and who is only there to eat, then leave you empty? Your energy is a meal, your peace is a house, your attention is a currency. Spend it like your life depends on it, because it does. These days, I walk differently, not with armor, not with walls, just with clarity that no longer needs to speak. People still try me, the same games, the same guilt-wrapped invitations, back into storms I already outgrew. But I don't enter anymore, not because I'm stronger, but because I'm softer in places that used to be hard. Softer, but not open to everything. I've returned, not to who I used to be, but to who I was, before the world told me I had to earn my worth. And maybe you felt it too. That strange calm, when you no longer feel the need to explain, to fix, to prove. You know that moment, after cleaning a house that's been messy for years? When the air changes? When silence feels like ownership? That's what it feels like inside me now. No leftover arguments pacing the halls. No voices waiting to be answered. No echo of guilt dragging a chair to my table. Just space, just breath, just a seat with my name on it. Someone asked me why I didn't respond to the latest insult. I smiled. Because I don't live there anymore. I've moved. And where I live now, anger doesn't knock, guilt doesn't speak the language, and chaos forgets my name. You don't heal by confronting them. You heal by no longer feeding them. You don't win by proving them wrong. You win by no longer needing to. You don't reclaim your power in the noise. You reclaim it in the sacred quiet of your own return. So if this message found you in the middle of your storm, let this be your pause. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing peace. You don't have to respond just because someone's shouting. You don't need to carry what they dropped and call it closure. Your silence is not absence. It's presence. It's wholeness. It's the sound of you coming home. So stay here, in this stillness, in this clarity, where your energy is protected, where your name is your own, where your heart doesn't leak just to be understood. You're not cold, you're not selfish, you're just finally warm enough to stop setting yourself on fire, to keep others comfortable. And if one day you forget this path, I'll still be here, not shouting, just walking, just waiting. And if this reached you, maybe it's time you send it to someone still searching for silence in all the wrong places.
Protect your peace. Without it, you've already lost the fight.